I'm Eric Olson, and I'm interning for the summer. So I have a couple different plants to give examples of some of the research projects. I have sunflowers, goji berry, and 2 different grape plants. Goji berries are a very high-valued crop right now, and it's a new health food trend, and we're trying to figure out how to grow them in Wyoming because they are very cold-hardy and they work very well. And then they are also considered a pest and weed to some people, so we're hoping that they spread a little bit, and we're trying to figure out how to kill them as well. We don't. So last year was the first year that they were planted, and there were only about 7 plants in total in the vineyard. And we were just looking to see if they would grow or not. And this year we found that they would grow, so we decided to plant about 40 more. And we also planted more in Powell to look and see if that makes a difference, if they grow better anywhere. And then there are also a whole bunch in the greenhouse for a grad student project. The next thing we have is sunflowers, and we're looking at commercial cut flower production with the sunflowers and seeing what it would take to grow them here. And they are in a greenhouse facility, and they are all squished together, and so we have to look at growth period, growth rate, which varieties work best, and any abnormalities, because normally when you have sunflowers for oil and seed, you don't have to worry about anything except for the flower itself. But in this case, since we are growing them for cut sunflowers, we need to worry about the stem and if they're going to produce abnormalities, if they're going to look funny and go in different ways. The only thing with these is just for production purposes, because I mean, with sunflowers, they are very sunlight sensitive. So in Wyoming, we have longer days, and we have to worry about photo period, and we have to worry about sunlight quality and intensity and all that sort of stuff. And so we're purely looking at different ways of producing them. So there is a replicate study in Laramie right now that's set up the exact same way that it is here. And so we're looking to see if it grows better here, if it grows better there, because I mean, like with sunflowers, if they're not struggling for the light, they'll grow very short and very fat, and the leaves will be bigger. But if they are struggling for the light, they'll grow very tall, be skinnier. And I mean, we are looking at that because we want uniform production flowers. And if they grow too tall, then they might take away from the flower, and it's a whole bunch of different stuff. So these are the 2 test varieties. This is Daphna and Procut Bicolor, and these were planted at the same time, and as you can see, there's already differences. These are about to flower while the Daphna are not. And so there's a square of each one, and they're surrounded by a different variety that we're not testing. It's just there as an edge variety. So the next thing we have are 2 grapes, and this is a Seyval grape. It's a French-American hybrid, and it produces a white grape, and it's for wine production. And we're looking at what grape varieties work well in Wyoming, something that's salt tolerant, drought tolerant, cold hardy, grows quickly for the short growing season, all that sort of stuff. And this is just an example of that. And then the last plant we have here is a Thompson seedless grape that has been genetically modified to produce red foliage. And the whole goal of this project was to produce an ornamental grape variety. And we're not worrying about the fruit at all. All we wanted was for it to look pretty. What we're looking at is before it's being able to be released, since it is genetically modified, it has to go through a whole bunch of tests to make sure it doesn't affect the environment, doesn't harm other plants, animals, all that sort of thing. But it is in the works of trying to get it commercially available. Not necessarily. So the vineyard is fairly new, and we're just now getting to the point where we can fruit. And so we still don't know if it's going to produce a lot of fruit or if it's going to produce good fruit. So not really any good recommendations right now.